Small-scale farmers are the poorest part of Nigeria's agricultural sector due to long-standing underinvestment. Women farmers are especially hard hit. In lieu of this, the Small-Scale Women Farmers Organization in Nigeria is calling for an increase in budgetary allocation to agriculture facilities, input and access to grants, especially to smallholder women farmers. Speaking at the International Budget Partnership with the Smallholder Women Farmers Organization in Nigeria, the national president of the organization, Mary Ishaya, laments that the budgetary allocation for the small-scale farmers is slow and there is need to increase the budgetary allocation so as to have food security in Nigeria.
With the stakeholders.
Okay, well, tell us about how low the budget of the agricultural sector has been and what you think the government should do to improve the sector.
As I'm not a professional, but based on the analysis, the budget allocation for Nigeria for 2022 is 2.something%. And the Malabo said at least 10%. So we've been advocating to the Nigerian government. From the state government, the local government level, it is a national event, so that at least if you move from 2 to 3 this year, next year you move to 4. Within a specified time, we'll be able to reach the 10%. Because as it is today, agriculture is the mainstay of this country. So if we are saying agric is the mainstay, it means that we must look at how to increase the budget allocation so that all other sectors will be on board for us to have food security in Nigeria.
She explained that in Nigeria, agriculture is responsible for roughly a quarter of the gross domestic product, the second highest contributor in the country. She laments that out of 10% of annual budget allocated to agriculture sector, they could only access 2%.
Actually, we are gathered here today to be able to interact with stakeholders in the agri sector, more especially on the need for support of smallholder women farmers in terms of budget allocation for the agri sector in favor of smallholder women farmers. For us to be able to have food security in Nigeria. Nigeria is also a signatory to the Malabo Declaration, and the Malabo Declaration said at least 10% of the total budget of every country should go to the agri sector, so that we can be able to achieve a 6% annual growth. And we've seen for over the years the budget allocation is so slow. So we interact with critical stakeholders on the need for them to see the need for an increase, and also to support the smallholder women farmers who do almost about 80% of the workforce in the farm, and they are being neglected. And that is why we are gathered here to interact together.
Stakeholders at the event added that small-scale women constitute over 60% in the growth of the economy. As such, there is need for plans and policies which are documented and show the need for investment for small-scale women farmers. Adding that there is need to improve participation of small-scale women farmers in the budgeting as well as budget reporting should provide information-based sex disaggregated data of beneficiaries, challenges and targeting mechanism.
So that's what brings us here today.
So how do you think we can achieve this?
Very well. We are critically looking at the budget over the years and the budget of the last 1 or 2 years particularly to see how appropriations and votes have been made for this sector. What has worked, what has not worked? What are the new strategies that can be brought on board by the Ministry of Finance and Budget Office and Ministry of Agriculture as well to ensure that even the little funds that are appropriated for them gets fully released and utilized so that at the end of the day they can produce more. Even within the context of value chains, which has been the Agricultural Ministry has been promoting, so that they can learn how they can add value to some of these agricultural produce which they are getting out in large quantity.
Women farmers constitute 70 to 80% of population of farmers in Nigeria. It is expected that with the advocacy, there will be an adequate and timely release of funds to boost the agricultural sector. Kike Lomo Okere, TV News, Abuja.